Hello again, everybody, and welcome once again to another episode of the Tigers Baseball Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Schulte, and we are going to just jump right into it. I know I promised that I would do a pod on Thursday, the 7th of April, but health issues took over, and I was really not doing well. So I do apologize for the fact that I was unable to produce a pod on Thursday, which would have given my predictions for the season. I'll still go ahead and do that, but I'm going to cut a few things off because I was going to talk about the injuries and roster moves, and of course that doesn't matter now because we're in the regular season. The injuries do. News today that Andrew Chafin is throwing off of a pitcher's mound. That's good news. Outside of that, there's not much to report on the injury front. So we're going to go ahead and get right into this. The Tigers beat the White Sox on Friday in their home opener 5-4 on what was a very odd play. Basically, Javi Baez hit a ball off the wall that AJ Pollock made it look like he caught, but he didn't. Replay showed that he didn't catch it. Austin Meadows was on third base and scored because it was considered a hit, and he did touch home plate when he came across, so they counted it, and Detroit won the game 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth on Javier Baez's walk-off single that in any other situation probably would have been a double, but it doesn't matter. He only needed to get to first. He's quite good at getting runners in from third base in odd situations. Star points to the Pittsburgh Pirates game last year, Star. If you don't know what that's all about, just look up Javi Baez Pittsburgh Pirates on YouTube and you'll find it. Now, let's go ahead and get into yesterday's game and today's game. I'm not going to actually recap these because I don't need to go too deeply into it. Tigers losses in both games. 5-2 yesterday, 10-1 today. Skubal got absolutely smacked around. Casey Mize got absolutely smacked around. And so now we're going to get to what is really on my mind today. And that is, if you're going to be better in your division, shouldn't you be beating the team that's won the division the last 2 years? Shouldn't you be beating the team that is the prohibitive favorite by pretty much any baseball writer in the United States to win your division? You have a chance to take a series, the opening series, from a team that has had your number the last 3 years. 33-14 since 2019 are the White Sox against the Tigers. 33 up, 14 down. Now 34-14. They're 20 games over 500 against the Tigers in 48 games. You have a chance to make a statement. Shouldn't you go out and make it? The statement that they made today was, yeah, we still suck. We need to get much better. And we can't hang with the class of the division. Oh, well, Chris, it's only April 10th. Yeah, it's April 10th. And you were 9-24 in April of 2021. And you finished 17 games out of first. I think you might want to consider what April means and what April is. We'll get into that in a minute. I heard on the radio today Dan Dickerson making the excuse for Casey Mize and for Tarik Skubal, and some would say for Eduardo Rodriguez as well. Oh, well, it's colder up here than it was in Florida, and so you're not going to have the same feel for the baseball. You know what? Everybody has to deal with those conditions. If the Tigers want to make sure that their pitchers don't have to pitch in those conditions in April, put a dome on Comerica Park. Go out and spend that money that you're saving by not going over the luxury tax, Mr. Ilitch, and put a dome on Comerica Park. And then your pitchers can pitch in 72-degree weather all year round. You can have late spring training games in your nice new domed stadium because you didn't want to have to pay, you didn't want to have to deal with your pitchers not being able to throw as well in April in Detroit as they did in February and March in Florida. Put a dome on the stadium. Then you don't have that excuse. The White Sox pitchers had to deal with it. Lucas Giolito had to deal with it. Dylan Cease had to deal with it. Michael Kopech had to deal with it. And Michael Kopech is coming off of Tommy John surgery. So if anybody should be concerned about something like that, it would be him. It was 52 degrees at game time. You can't tell me that the ball is going to feel different in 52 degrees than it is in 82 degrees. 42, 32, I can understand that, but it was 52. There was absolutely no breeze today, so there was no reason. The sun was out. It was an absolutely beautiful afternoon in Detroit. And I know this because I live in Windsor, which is right across the Detroit River from Detroit. So I understand what the weather is like in downtown Detroit. It's less than 10 miles away from me. Hell, when they had the flyover on Friday for the opening ceremonies, for opening day, guess who got to see those jets fly over? When they have Friday night fireworks, guess who gets a free fireworks show? So don't tell me that the weather was a factor. Tarek Skubals pitched in Erie and then here in Detroit. Casey Mize pitched in Erie and then here in Detroit. Eduardo Rodriguez pitched in Boston and then here in Detroit. You're going to tell me the weather's better in Boston in April than it is in Detroit? You're going to tell me the weather's better in Erie, Pennsylvania than it is in Detroit? How about this for what happened today and yesterday and for a good part of Friday? How about your pitching couldn't get it done? You couldn't stop Tim Anderson. You couldn't stop Eloy Jimenez. You couldn't stop Jose Abreu. You couldn't stop Luis Robert. Your pitching couldn't get it done. Tim Anderson sees one pitch in his first game back from a suspension today. Double the left field on a line. First pitch he sees. Doink. Goes 3 for 4 with a 3 for 5 with a strikeout. 2 doubles and a single today. In his first game back, he hasn't played since Tuesday. He was serving a 3-game suspension for the altercation that took place last year in Detroit in the last game of the year in Detroit between the White Sox and the Tigers when Jose Abreu slid into Nico Goodrum at second base. Tim Anderson bumped an umpire in that game. He appealed his suspension, got it taken down to 2 games. So he missed opening day and yesterday. He comes back today and eats Tarek Skubals' lunch. And Elvin Rodriguez's lunch. You name it. Detroit just doesn't know how to get him out. You want to win this series? You want to win a series against the White Sox? Get Tim Anderson out. You want to make a statement in the division? Get Tim Anderson out. You want the national media to take this team seriously? Get Tim Anderson out. But they didn't. Oh, the ball is the feel for the ball isn't going to be the same in 52-degree weather. You know what? Ask Dylan Cease how the ball felt in 41-degree weather yesterday with his 5 innings of one-run ball. Ball feels different. Pitchers have to deal with it. And if you can't deal with it, then you can't be in the major leagues. Or you need to go someplace where there's a dome. Or you need to go someplace where it's warm all year round. If Al Avila is drafting guys that can't pitch in the cold weather, Al Avila needs to be fired. If A.J. Hinch is bringing guys north who can't pitch in cold weather, A.J. Hinch needs to be fired. Now, I'm putting some of the onus on the team itself because obviously the pitchers don't hit. We scored 8 runs in 3 games. But we gave up 19. That's not the offense's fault. The fact that we scored 8 runs is Javi Baez's fault, and it's Spencer Torkelson's fault, and it's Miguel Cabrera's fault, and Jonathan Scope, and Robbie Grossman, and Jeimer Candelario, and Akil Baddoo. Eric Haas did his part. He hit a solo shot on Friday. A 2-run shot on Friday. Tied the game up. He did his part. He's contributing. Dustin Garneau came in cold last night and had to face Aaron Bummer throwing 98. That's a little bit of a tough ask. But he's a professional. He's 34 years old. He should be able to handle the situation. I put the onus on this entire team to go out and play better. I put the onus on Javier Baez to know better than to come running in from third base when the ball is 3 feet away from the catcher. And all the catcher has to do is pick it up and underhand it to the pitcher who's covering home plate. And Javier Baez is out. I put the onus on on Spencer Torkelson when Victor Reyes is standing at third with 1 out. Sorry, with 2 out, and all you have to do is get a base hit. Granted, he hasn't gotten his first major league hit yet, but that would have been a good time for it, eh? It's 2-1 at that point, and if you get that base hit, you tie the ball game. Now I'm a little less. I give Torkelson a bit of a pass because he does tend to start slowly when he's in a new situation. He was 11 for 59 in West Michigan last year, and then he went he hit over 400 in his last 17 games before he got promoted. He was 7 for 28 in Toledo. Before he finished the season strong. He was 1 for 21 in the spring last year. He finished 7 for 23 this year. With a homer and 4 doubles. So I'm not going to be as hard on Spencer Torkelson because he's still trying to find his way up here. But Miguel Cabrera had a guy at third and couldn't get him in. Jeimer Candelario came up with a guy on first in Austin Meadows and didn't get on base. To be fair, Austin Meadows got thrown out stealing. He shouldn't have had to steal. Javier Baez could have very easily gotten him to second or third by putting the ball in play. Sorry, I'm going to strike out because that's what I do. $140 million over 6 years, I'm going to strike out. His dollar value, $140 million, the 140 is less than the amount of times he struck out last year. He struck out 184 times last year. And this is our third hole hitter. I give Austin Meadows a bit of a pass too because he's still learning this team. You know, he got traded to Detroit on Tuesday. So he's still learning the team. He's learning the park. But guys like Scope and Cabrera and Candelario and Grossman and Baddoo. Yeah, Baddoo. Oh, he's only been here for a year. Well, he's been here for a year. Eric Haas is doing his part. Tucker Barnhart, look, he's got to learn his teammates and a new pitching staff. So I give him a bit of a pass too. A bit. But I mean, guys like Victor Reyes, who's been up here since 2018. Akil Baddoo, Jeimer Candelario, Jonathan Scope, Miguel Cabrera, Robbie Grossman, Javi Baez. Yeah, I hold you guys responsible for the lack of offense on this team. 8 runs in 3 games. Really? Chicago's pitching isn't that good. In all honesty, you put Chicago's rotation against Cleveland's rotation, and Cleveland has them beat hands down. You put Chicago's offense against Cleveland's offense, and that's where things get to be seen. Right now, you put Detroit's offense against Cleveland's offense, and Detroit's offense loses. And all Cleveland has is Franmil Reyes and Jose Ramirez. But with the way Detroit's playing right now, it's only 3 games. I get that. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the season is over. Because it's not. There's still 159 games left. But if Detroit wants to be better in the division, AJ Hinch keeps bringing up the point that they were 30-46 in the division last year. If they want to get better in the division, beat the team that won it last year. Beat the team that has won 34 of 48 games against you in the last 3 years. Detroit was 30-46 last year against the Central Division. They were 7-12 last year against the White Sox. Arguably, the White Sox series is the one that was the most lopsided. Kansas City was 11-8 in favor of Kansas City. I think Minnesota and Cleveland were pretty much the same. So you have a chance to be better in the division. You want to be better in the division, and you go out and you get outscored 19-8 in 3 games against a divisional foe. This just doesn't look good for the Tigers at all. And people in the national media are sitting there making fun of the Tigers for signing Javier Baez. Oh, this is what you get with Javier Baez. These are the kind of mistakes that you get with Javier Baez. You're going to get a lot of strikeouts, and this team was number 3 in the American League in strikeouts last year, and they just got the top strikeout artist in the league. So what's this going to do for their offense? They're not wrong. They're not wrong. Miguel Cabrera got another hit today. He's at 2,990. He's 10 away from 3,000. He's going to get that against the Yankees next week, and that's going to be amazing. That place will be loud when he does it. As I said before, Andrew Chafin went through from a mound today. Kyle Funkhauser is not expected back until May. Michael Pineda pitched on Thursday and actually looked pretty decent. Joey Wentz pitched on Wednesday and didn't look too bad either. So if you're looking for some things to point to, Tyler Alexander will move back to the bullpen once Pineda gets probably one more start. He'll start again on Tuesday, is my guess, which is the same day that Alexander starts. So my guess is he went 3 on Thursday. He'll hopefully go 4 on Tuesday. If he does that, AJ Hinch will have him come up and he'll start again. He'll start for the Tigers on Sunday in Kansas City, which really isn't a bad spot for him to be. It's not a bad start for him because it's a big ballpark. He doesn't have to worry so much about Kansas City's offense. So that would put Tyler Alexander back in the bullpen, and it'll help settle that bullpen down. Elvin Rodriguez made his major league debut today. Don't let the numbers fool you. Yes, he gave up 4 runs, but that was in 1 inning. He pitched 2 innings, and he looked pretty decent. He looked very much under control, and that was a good thing. That's a good sign. So that's there are some positives. Questions now are going to be what happens when Riley Green comes back in early to mid-June. Who gets sent down? Is it going to be Baddoo or Reyes? If I'm Akil Baddoo and I'm Victor Reyes, I'm sitting here going, I've got 2 months to prove that I belong. Because Riley Green isn't going to stay in Toledo this year. And they're not about to send Austin Meadows down to Toledo. They just gave up Isaac Paredes and a competitive balanced draft pick for him. And Robbie Grossman, they don't want to send him down to the minors either because they want to be able to flip him on the 31st of July. Or possibly earlier. To make that happen, Akil Baddoo or Victor Reyes has to produce. Not for nothing, I don't have anything against Akil Baddoo, but I'd kind of like to see it be Victor Reyes just because he's a switch hitter and that gives the Tigers a little bit more flexibility. Right now, they're left-handed heavy in the outfield. You got Meadows and Baddoo who are lefties. When Green comes up, that'll be Green as well. Grossman's a switch hitter. Harold Castro is the super utility player for the Tigers, and he's left-handed. So really, the only right-handed bat other than Victor Reyes, who's a switch hitter, is Eric Haas. Well, Eric Haas and Robbie Grossman. And I don't, by the way, like Robbie Grossman leading off. I just don't. He didn't look very comfortable in the leadoff spot last year. He honestly didn't start hitting better until he got moved down to the 3 spot, the 2 or the 3. When Miguel was not playing, he was hitting 3rd behind Scope. The lineup that I would like to see out there would be Akil Baddoo leading it off, Scope hitting 2nd, Baez hitting 3rd, Candelario hitting 4th, Cabrera hitting 5th, Grossman hitting 6th. And then Meadows hitting 7th, Torkelson hitting 8th, Barnhart hitting 9th. Or some sort of variation on that. But I just don't like Grossman leading off. He just doesn't look like he belongs there. Now he's fast and he can get on base and he can draw a walk and he can see a lot of pitches. I get that. But what good does it do to see 7 pitches if you're going to make an out? All right, the guy behind you gets to see it, and everybody in the dugout gets to see what the guy's pitches are doing, but it's not very productive if you make an out. They've been saying that now people have been saying that you need your best hitter in the 2 slot because it gives him more at-bats in a game. Well, if that's the case, then you're saying Austin Meadows is your best hitter, and he's not going to get any chance to drive in any runs if Grossman's not on in front of him. So that's a problem. But I'm not AJ Hinch. I don't get paid to make out the lineup cards. If I did, I probably wouldn't do very well at it. So we'll leave it as is. But there you have it. Tigers finished the series with the White Sox today. They're hosting Boston tomorrow. Boston is playing right now against the Yankees in a Sunday night game and will not get into Detroit until very late. So Detroit's game against the Red Sox is a 5:10 start tomorrow night, which is kind of odd, but hey, why not? It'll still be relatively warm out and the weather will be pretty decent. So the baseball will feel better for Matt Manning than it has for Casey Mize and Tarek Skubal and Eduardo Rodriguez. So there you go. 3 with the Red Sox, on to Kansas City for 4. Then they come home and have a day off before welcoming in the New York Yankees, which is when Miguel Cabrera is going to get his 3,000th hit. So that's going to be cool. I will be back next Sunday with more of this podcast, and we will talk to you guys at that point. I want to thank Anchor for distributing the podcast. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and any other podcast platform of choice. But we would prefer that you go to the YouTube channel and check us out on the YouTube channel. And that's always a good time. So with that, I'm going to get out of here and say goodbye until next week. Hopefully we have better news coming up next week than this week. Detroit's got another big 4-game series in Kansas City starting Thursday. That, to me, is where they can start really making statements about the division. But we'll see where that goes. So until then, we will talk to you guys soon. Thanks a lot for listening, everybody. Like, subscribe, and review. And go Tigers.